And welcome to another Tom and Shane podcast. Happy to have you along with us today. We're going to talk today about how to test your advertising. How to test your advertising. Very important, Shane, because advertising costs money, and you got to be able to test it, and you've got to know it's working correctly.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it can become one of your biggest costs running a business. But the other aspect of it too, especially in the age of social media and the 21st century internet, it may appear to be less expensive, but you've got to be sure that whatever you're spending is generating a return.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. The first rule of advertising is advertising must always be an investment. It can never be an expense. It must pay for itself. It must be free. So that's what we want to talk about today, is how to get to that free part. And if you're new in business, if you're a new business owner, whatever, you're probably not going to get it right the first time. Even the big ad agencies have failures. I mean, the annals of advertising are full of advertising failure, Shane, that just didn't work. Come on. There's really bad stuff out there.
And then the extreme opposite is the pillow man. Oh my God, he's saturated America and the world with pillows, and he's still going strong. But it's the significant amount and the continuous advertising that he does, which is quite fascinating.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about how to get this thing started. So we've got to talk about how to create a plan and evaluate your advertising. And in order to do that, we've got to be sure of what do you want this advertising to accomplish? Do you want to bring more traffic? Do you want to increase the dollar amount of each sale? Do you want to attract a better customer? Do you want to reduce the cost of bringing a customer to your business? What exactly is it that you want your advertising to accomplish? And that's the main thing that we need to sit down with. And you might say, well, I need all of those things, and most businesses do. But how do we need to put those in order and test each one as we go along.
That's right. And like cars, that generally towards the end of the season, they start going on sale at dealerships because the next year's models are coming in. Anybody that has a business has inventory, and you want to turn that inventory over, whether you make money on it or not. The bottom line is you can't sit on inventory because it has a desk life. It has a shelf life. So, old material sitting around gaining no benefit but dust is not a way to generate cash flow.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work very well. So you got to get rid of the bad things and go with the good things. So let's talk about how to start the plan. How are we gonna start the plan? So, if you've ever been to the doctor or if you've ever been in a medical test, they have a control group. And this used to be really hard to evaluate a control group, but now it's much, much easier because we've got social media. And social media, those people are attracted to your page, your Facebook business page or your Twitter business page or your LinkedIn business page or whatever. So you have a better control group that you can test things on your plan. So so it's really good to do that. And start with what's working. If you've had newspaper ads or radio ads or whatever kind of ads you have that are working and they've been successful, then we want to build on that. Now, as you're testing these things, keep in mind a one-time good response could be just a fluke. So we want consistent numbers. We want an ad that continues to bring customers in, and you can start with that ad and then go from there. The other thing that you can do an easy test, and it's inexpensive, is to test in the store. Put offers in the store itself so that when people walk in, they say, oh, I got a special on this, got a special on that. Which one do you buy? And that's an easy way to test it in the store, where the customers tell you what they want.
That's right. I mean, social media provides you a wide range of control groups or testing, as you say,
Mm-hmm.
because of the immediate response you can get from people and emails and texts and so forth. In a brick and mortar store, as you say, there's a number of ways of doing it. A suggestion box is great. That's an automatic control group because if you
Mm-hmm.
get 5, 10, 20, 30 suggestions, that's a control group of suggestions to consider.
Yeah.
So, all these things are so important uh, for you to help advance your advertising in a way that is familiar to your customers and successful for you.
Yeah, exactly right. So, well, let's talk about um, how do we start the plan? Yes, we should do. Or well, actually, we talked about that already, didn't we? I'm losing my place here. Let's talk about how to format your test. There was a company in San Diego years ago called King Schools, and they made a course to teach pilots how to get their pilot's license and instrument training. And they did a test on should the course cost $199.95 or should it cost $250. And $250 was the cost that, or the plan that tested best, because people felt they couldn't provide the value they said they were going to provide at $199. So um, you certainly want to test a lot of things. I'm not sure price is at the top of the list.
That's true. And again, in a brick and mortar situation, people come in and you have a suggestion box, and you suggest you can go up to them with a single piece of paper with half a dozen questions on it, yes or no, as to were you comfortable? Do you like the store? Do you like the ambiance? Do you like the products? And again, it's a measured way of getting a response from people, and for them to think about what they think of your store and whether they find it something that they enjoy or not. And again, that generates a control group of people that will probably fill it out, especially if you say, and today, if you do this, if you fill out this, if you answer these 10 questions, you get 10% off
Mm-hmm.
whatever you buy today. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's lots of ways that can generate very
Mm-hmm.
positive information for you to enhance your business and generate more revenue, which, as we know, is how you succeed.
Absolutely. Well, next, can I test too much? And the answer, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. The answer, of course, to that is yes, you can test too much. Don't try to do too much too fast. You know, you're always going to change things like business cards and brochures and things like that. But it's too hard to keep track of a control group if you're testing a whole bunch of things at once. Now, as I mentioned earlier, social media is a great place to test things because you can put one test on your Facebook page and another one on your LinkedIn page, and see which one generates the most traffic or the most response. Uh, or Twitter or Pinterest or any of the social media things are a great, inexpensive way to test these things before you spend real advertising dollars on them. So it's really a quick and easy way to do that. Um, the other some other things that you want to do. Tests can be expensive, so test the offer, the message, and the format. Usually in that order. Test the offer first, then refine the message that delivers that offer, and then decide on what format you're going to put it in or where you're going to put it, and that will speed things up quite a bit.
It's so true. And the other thing too that if you have a silent test where people fill out a page and put it in your suggestion box, if people feel that it's private, it's not something you have to write, just check boxes, then it becomes a very positive way to connect with your customer, but at the same time give them comfort that perhaps what their suggestions
Mhm.
may help, and especially if they come back and see what they may have suggested, that you've done it. That always makes the customer feel comfortable because they feel like they're being heard, and people love to be heard.
Amen to that. Yes, they do. So if we're doing all this testing and everything, how do I know my advertising is pulling customers? Well, the easiest way to do that is to do something that is called key your ads. You key your ads. For example, if you had a newspaper, you had a coupon in a newspaper or several newspapers, you put a little code on the coupon that says the date, maybe the initials of the newspaper, so that when that coupon comes in, it was taken out of this newspaper. Or if it's a radio ad, maybe it's call a specific number, go to a specific web page, things like that, so that that somehow that ad produced that customer to react and go to a certain place. And you can evaluate the number of customers that go there and how effective that is.
That's right. Tom is wanting to point out to you the fact that you need to analyze the advertising you have. And so there's great ideas of how to generate information you can analyze as to how successful it is. But of course, right off the dot, you know how advertising is if you're getting more people and you're generating more sales. That's an obvious and an immediate response to whatever advertising you're getting, and then it's working.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah. That's the key thing, that most people, they don't really go through this process, and that's the sad thing. And it slows you down, and costs you a lot more money than it should if you would simply just, test these things. And then once you find what's working with your ideal customer, then you've really got to head up on your competition, because it's so simple to do. But most people say, well, a newspaper, here's what I want to say, throw an ad together and put it in there. And why is that a good investment? I mean, would you throw darts at the stock exchange and to pick a stock? I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. You're just guessing at what's going to work out there. And guessing costs more than testing in the long run.
And the other important aspect of this lesson today is for you to realize that time commitment is everything. We've talked about business plans, marketing plans, and we talked about inventory. We talked about product selection. But this, like everything else, is important. You have to do your bookkeeping every day to make your deposits, and you have to do your accounting work to keep your records straight. So take the time to analyze your advertising, because it's just as important as the other things that you have to do. Remember, the things you have to do are something that happens every day. Advertising is something that will result in something tomorrow. So you've got to realize that it's not necessarily going to happen on itself. If you don't take the time to analyze the information you've gained.
Absolutely right. So, well, the last word on testing your advertising, of course, is simply knowing your customers. And that's what testing does. It informs you of who your ideal customer is. Many business owners will sit in their office and think, well, I listen to this radio station, so if I like this business, then all my customers must listen to that radio station. They don't. They don't read the same magazines. They don't read the same newspapers. They don't listen to the same radio station. They don't watch the same TV shows. So people are individuals. They're all different, but they may have a common purpose in saying, that your business provides a need that I need, something that will ease my pain.
And the other aspect of advertising, which is so important because it's been proven over the last 40, 50 years, is demographics. What's the demographic that you find is responding to your advertising, and that age group? Because they tend to be the ones that will have a expendable income. They're the ones that will go out on in a brick and mortar issue just for a walk, or if they're looking for something specific, they will find your website. So trying to find and know who to advertise, being a demographic, an age group, is very important, because that may be the lifeblood of your business continue.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it's a great way to get going and get your business off the ground. Hey, if you like to create your own podcasts, we do it with StreamYard, and the link to that is in the description below. They have a free service there that you can try it out, see if you like it. Also, if you like this information, hey, why not subscribe and ring the notification bell? You'll always be notified when we're going to have another podcast. We do them every Tuesday and every Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And also, if you'd like to support the show and get Tom and Shane to personally talk to you and help you with your business or answer your business questions or things like that, why not consider becoming a sponsor of the show? And you can do that with Patreon. And the link to that is in the podcast or in the descriptions below. So do all those things. And hey, you'll be happy. We'll be happy. And everybody will be happy. And that's what we want, right, Shane?
That's right. Yeah, the success of every podcast are the number of people that subscribe and view. So we're very grateful to those of you who have subscribed and taken the time, which is what we talk about, to review or listen to our podcast and learn that there's an endless scope of advice that can be generated to help you win and be successful in the small business, medium-sized business, or even a large business that you run.
Absolutely. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. So we'll see you on the next podcast. So have a great day.